I've been trading for 5+ years and I'll be covering my journey and the important lessons that I've learned along the way. Now, in total, I've lost over $3,000 within the first year of trading, but that is not the worst story that you'll ever hear. I've heard of traders taking 10+ years until they became profitable and also losing over $100,000 before their strategy started to work and before they became profitable and consistent. Now, one of the biggest things coming into this world of trading is coming in with the wrong expectations. Why does that happen? Well, because online we see all these traders post that they took 1K to 100K in 30 days. We see that and we think, hey, I could do that too. That's completely possible just because we saw somebody else do it. But after you start trading, you realize that that just is not the reality of how it works. And because of coming into the trading world with that type of expectation, I had my wheels just turning in place for 5 years, more than 5 years actually. And I want to break down a bunch of things that I've learned up until this point and everything that I could have done differently to cut that time in at least half. Because quite honestly, if I had the information that I have now, I would have became profitable so much sooner. And I know that sounds crazy, but one thing I do not regret is that it did take me 5+ years because I went through the whole process. I failed on my own, and now I have my own framework. I have my own process of trading. And I realized that the answer was never in another video or another strategy or another trader or more and more and more information. The answer is always so much easier than you realize it to be. And something that started to turn the tide for me was having a clear plan on a day to day basis for what I needed to do. And I'm doing less now than what I was ever doing in the beginning or in the middle because now I'm focusing on the essential. And it's not always about doing more, it's about doing less, but just a lot better. Like a winning strategy is subtracting everything that's not working. Now I'm worrying less about adding new strategies and adding more lines on the chart and taking more trades and adding more indicators. And now I'm focusing on getting rid of the things. Like you're cutting the fat. I've cut all the fat off now. And if you get rid of everything that isn't helping, you start to level up so much quicker. You're far closer than you think. Sometimes it's just a few tweaks to take you to that next level, but you just don't realize it now because you don't have a process. You're not looking at your trades. You're not reviewing things. You don't have enough data. But let me get into why and when I started my journey. So it started around 2019, 2020 during like the pandemic and all. And I was actually using all the money that we were getting from the government to put into my trading account just so I can trade. That's how desperate I was to make it work because we were all at home anyways, doing nothing, playing video games, bored out of my mind. I was like, I might as well do something with this. And I started with penny stocks, which was on Webull. And I was also blocked off by the pattern day trading rule. Not sure if you know what that is, but if you didn't have more than 25K in your account, then you couldn't take more than 3 trades per week. I don't know if you know how insane that sounds. Like being a beginner, at first, I didn't even know what I was doing. So I was trying to take as many trades as possible. But like, I was trying to focus on quality over quantity, but at the same time, I couldn't contain myself to do that. How was I supposed to only take one trade every other day for the week. That's a really hard thing to do. And another thing is that the barrier to enter trading is like non-existent. All you have to do is create an account, you load up that account with money, and then you're free to just start trading. There is no test to see if you're actually profitable or if you can actually make money. Now, just imagine this. Imagine one day somebody gives you a car and just tells you to go drive. Probably end up crashing within a couple of minutes. Like, just imagine you had no driving test, you had no one to tell you what to do right or what you're doing wrong while you're driving. You had no idea of the signs on the road. There was nobody teaching you. There's no way you wouldn't crash within the first couple of minutes. And it's almost the same thing with trading. You get into the market, you think you know what you're doing, kind of doing random things, and then all of a sudden you start blowing up your account. Because the first time you open up the charts, let me tell you, you don't know what you're looking at. What are all these lines? What do I have to do here? And then you kind of just end up clicking like buy or sell to see how things work. But if you have no clear feedback loop, if you don't have a person that's giving you a type of instructions, then you make a mistake and it's really easy to think that you have to change things right away because you think you're doing something wrong. But doing things wrong and losing is a part of trading. And you have to like drill that into your head because losing in day-to-day life, like you're doing a job or you're just following what a boss is telling you, it's really hard to like mess up and lose badly and get fired. But with trading, that's a part of the process in the beginning. You have to be completely okay with it. And I've made all the beginner mistakes. I've overtraded, I've had no stop loss, I've added 2 losses, I didn't journal, I didn't review, I used 10 different strategies, I put 10 different indicators on the chart. I thought that the market or the market makers were out to get me and they're just targeting my stop loss. And I was following all the traders, using all their strategies and just blindly following what everyone was saying. But one of the worst things, or just something I was doing, I would take a trade, I had no idea what I was doing, and I would literally just pray and be on the edge of my seat that it would work out. If you do that right away, that's not trading. That is gambling. That's 100% gambling. If you've ever gambled before, I promise you it's the same feeling. You don't know what you're doing. You're just taking something random. You're hoping it works out. You're hoping you get that big win. It just never works out in the end. And I never did paper trading. No one ever told me, hey, listen, do paper trading first. Learn the right way. But at times when I started, I had that beginner confidence that got to me a lot. I had no idea what I was doing. I joined all the free discords. I followed every single thing that traders were taking, but let me tell you that that never works out. And a big reason that doesn't work out is even if a trader tells you what trades they take and they're profitable and they tell you where their take profit is and their stop loss is, you don't know why you're actually taking the trade. And knowing the why behind it is so important. Even if you profit off it or you lose the trade and you don't know why, like you don't know what happened, okay, why is this guy winning? Why is this guy losing? It holds you back because you're still kind of taking random trades. And I know it doesn't really make sense. Like, okay, well, this guy live trades and I can just take everything that he's taking. It's just not the same when you know what you're doing, you know why you're taking a trade, you know why it lost. If you don't believe me, go and join a Discord, follow the trades, let me know how that works out for you. Because trading is the hardest way to make easy money. And with the process I have now it's a full-time income with part-time hours. Like You don't have to stare at the charts for 12 hours a day. I used to do that in the beginning, trying to catch trades in pre-market, during the market, after hours, thinking I had to trade. But you only have to trade when your strategy presents itself. And I've narrowed my trading window down to 2 hours a day because freedom is the reason why I trade now. I had a job at this one internship, and I was at a firm. And they told me that once I graduate, I'm guaranteed a job. But just being in that environment, seeing how they worked, it's 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life with 2 weeks vacation a year to finally retire. And then they tell you to go and enjoy your life and rest and relax. But by that time, you're too old to even really like travel and have the energy that you would have had when you were younger. So why not do that now? Because you're going to suffer either path you pick, right? Maybe I'll suffer. Well, yes, I will suffer now if I only choose trading and wait until I see how long it takes until I become profitable. But I'm also going to suffer for that job for 40 years. Like I've experienced it. And every day going there feels like little tiny cuts to my soul. And it's like wearing me down. So I might as well take a path that'll give me freedom sooner, even though I might have to suffer a little bit more. And life outside of the charts plays a huge factor in your trading as well. And I can only see that now after being in it for so long, 5+ years. So you don't only want to have structure in your trading, but have structure in your whole entire life. Like trading's only the wealth part, right? That's the money part. Make sure that you're also focusing on the health part and the relationships part. So health, mind, body, soul. Make sure you're getting the right sleep, eating the right foods, the relationships, love, family, friends. Like make sure everything is right so it doesn't bleed into trading. Trust me, it bleeds into trading when you're having a hard time with these other areas of your life and you're constantly thinking about it. It's going to bleed into while you're trading because you're not going to be able to concentrate or you had bad sleep. Trust me, it bleeds into your trading. If you don't think it does now, just wait until you've been long enough into the journey. And another thing is to not give yourself a timeline of when it's going to happen. Like commit to sticking to it, but stop caring about exactly when it's going to happen. The end is guaranteed. You're going to become consistent and you're going to become profitable, but don't worry about when that's exactly going to happen. Because with the right information, if you have a process, if you know exactly what you have to do on a day-to-day basis, you're going to get to that end. But you're so fixed on that outcome. You want it now. You want it 30 days. You wanted it yesterday. But that's just not how it happens. And if you could just focus on the process, not the outcome, that outcome's guaranteed. So you have a pre-market plan, you're reviewing your trades, you're gathering the data, you're looking over the data, you're seeing what you have to change, what you have to keep. I promise you, the end is going to happen. Like there's no way that you don't become profitable and consistent. Because with the right information, you cut the time it takes to become profitable and consistent, and you get that by following the process. It comes slowly over time. It doesn't instantly just happen one day. And there's also no magical like clicking moment. That never happened in my trading. Where like one day I was like, I know exactly what I have to do now. This is what works. And that did happen in the beginning with the beginner confidence where I'm randomly taking a trade and it works out and I think I know what I'm doing, which is never the case as well. And view this as a business. What's one of the goals of a business? It's to protect your capital. You want to lose as minimal as possible, as little as possible, to keep yourself in the game. You shouldn't be constantly blowing your accounts, whether that's your own account or a prop firm account. Do it the right way. Slowly build it up. Prove to yourself that you can be profitable and you can be consistent over a long period of time. One week being profitable is not going to prove that to you. It's going to take months, maybe even a year of being green and having all the data to actually know that this is working out. And when you do that, once again, there is no magical clicking moment where you realize that it's all working out. It's when you look back and you're like, okay, now I'm actually following a process. And that's what's making the difference. And it's like you forget about that end goal of making the 10K per month or finally making it. You were so focused on the daily process, and that's what helped you the most. You were viewing it as an actual business. You stopped caring about all the other traders. You stopped caring about what everyone else was doing. You stopped caring about what everyone else thinks about you because you're on this journey. You stopped telling everyone, you just went about your business day to day, and then it started working. Please focus on the process more so on that outcome. Stop needing it and wanting it to happen so bad. And the beauty of trading is like you can still have a job while you trade. Like two of the best ways is having a full-time job where you work from home. You can literally just trade at the same time when you're working. Now that might be a little bit difficult, but you can find a way. Or you can trade in the mornings, possibly in the afternoons if that's what you do, and then you have the rest of the day to work like a part-time job in the evenings, being a server, Uber, DoorDash, whatever it is. This is another beauty of trading. Like I only trade in the mornings now, 2 hours a day. So I have the whole afternoon and the whole evening to myself. If I want to work a job, I can work a job. If that's what you need to do, that's completely fine. And let me just end this with saying that if you found some value in this video, follow my Instagram. I post there daily about my trading journey, about my trades, about my profitability. I'm always active there. So you'll see that in the video description. Also, leave any questions, leave any comments below, and I'll get to them.